Hey, what's up, everybody? BDR44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 118-108, and the Chicago Bulls beat the Lakers at Crypto.com Arena. I didn't look at the standings, so I'm not quite sure how that makes us fall to where, I don't know, but we're not happy with what just took place. Braun did play. We're definitely happy that we have the King back. I'm trying to psych myself into understanding that this was a good thing that we have this problem now. Rather than the further, we go along. Trying to work LeBron back into the equation can be a bit tricky for not only his rhythm, but just for the overall rotations. And I think that's what we saw tonight. I'm trying not to be livid, I guess you could say, because it's really one of those situations where the game's been over for a while now. Even though we fought back pretty good in the fourth quarter, we really were not ever really in the game with this team. Honestly, tonight, we were never in the game. Quintessential 12:30 Sunday afternoon basketball game with an Eastern Conference team. It's the same crap that we always see every year my whole life. We just don't play well in these scenarios. No matter who's the Lakers players are, no matter who's on the team, this is how it goes. And so it's just not surprising to me. Our team is going to have to get a center on it. Okay? A lot of what went wrong tonight was in the center position for us. Even though Vucevic got himself thrown out of the game halfway through it, we just did not have the size on the floor necessary in trying to reincorporate LeBron James into this fold again. You have to take certain things into account when you have the 4 spot down there. Weak side help is something that you cannot live without with the type of talent that we're dealing with. You just have to respect that at all times. So incorporating Bron back at the 4 when he's not in shape and not in this positioning, like, conditioning like you want him to be, you're going to give up some things defensively just from his position alone. Okay, that's something that we need to be aware of. Then you look over at the Malik Beasley minutes. I love what I saw from Malik in the fourth quarter. So you got to just say, hey, it was a point in the game where it actually made sense to have him out there. And at that time, we had him on the floor and he did what it is you want him to do. It was around the fourth quarter. I'd say around the 7-minute mark when he started really getting going and started cooking in a real way. That was when you call on him because the score is out of whack and you need somebody to run it up fast and you need somebody who can microwave 3. That's his functionality. That's when he needs to be in the game. Not in any of the minutes that led up to that. And because we had him out there for the majority of the game early on, the score was out of whack. You're trying to incorporate Bron back in. You're trying to incorporate Lonnie Walker in. And then you want to slap Lonnie Walker next to Malik Beasley. That's a defensive nightmare. That is a defensive nightmare. Okay, so that's the meat and potatoes of what went wrong down there as far as I could tell. Actually, no, it's not. That's 1/2 or 1/3 of what the problem was, but that is a major problem that contributed to the loss and probably the main one. Then, so you got to get a center in here before the next time we see Chicago, or we're probably going to have another repeat performance of this. So you look at the center position again and you say, okay, continuing the problem. Wenyen Gabriel, did he get 8 minutes on his birthday? Come on, coach. And mind you, I saw his plus minus was trash. It was minus 18 or something like that. But he only had 8 minutes. He was down there with the defensive liability players. So as a result, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan were killing stuff on the floor while he was down there. He was not a problem. It was just the fact that he was down there for the meat and potatoes of when the score was being run up because they were having layup lines hunting Malik Beasley. It's why Wenyen Gabriel's plus minus was so bad. So we pulled away from Wenyen Gabriel when we needed him. We needed him tonight. Why? Because Vanderbilt was not playing well. He had a minus 24 or something like that, giving us absolutely nothing because I think personally, we're not understanding that you can't run plays for this guy. We keep trying to pass him the ball and he keeps fumbling it off his hands. That's part of the problem. And then the putbacks and stuff like that are just not happening. And he needs rebounds and stuff like that. We have him chasing defensive players. He's getting stops, but that'll show up in your plus minus. So he's not helping us offensively. And as I said, if you want him to be a weak side help guy or a center guy, it's not really going to work. You need Wenyen Gabriel down there. Anthony Davis going up against Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond was a plus 20. Why? Because he had like 50 pounds on anybody on the floor. That's nobody's fault. That's the Lakers' fault for not bringing in a center that could actually match up with this player, knowing that we had this matchup coming up. He's the backup. That's not even the real guy. Vucevic is the real guy. He just so happened to get removed from the lineup. And we didn't take the game to Drummond. And as soon as Vucevic gets removed from the lineup, you know the only last player they got to guard Anthony Davis is someone like Derrick Jones Jr. or Patrick Williams. You have to get Drummond in foul trouble as soon as you realize that Vucevic is now off the floor for the game. Do you think the Lakers strategize that way? Didn't even cross our mind, probably. And so that's another thing. Austin Reeves barely got ball handling duties. You remember what I said about having him control the ball instead of LeBron James? This is what I was talking about. It's not about not trusting Bron or something like that. It had nothing to do with that. You just want the other players who are used to doing all the things that they've been doing to keep that continuity, because you can't afford to not have it with the urgency and the little games that we have left. So that type of stuff is just like, you have to understand these things instinctually, unfortunately. And I just don't think that we do, man. I really genuinely think that somehow, some way, this is not something that we're really able to kind of see outright. And it's required for us to be on top of these type of things in order for us to get victories, man. And so this it's semi on. I mean, look, it's of course on Darvin Ham, man, because you cannot have some of these mistakes that he had tonight. That wasn't it. We still got more to talk about, unfortunately. Anthony Davis. Okay, so subsequently, because we didn't get that center, we have to rely on Anthony Davis to do more. But because Drummond is 50 pounds heavier than him, and other aspects of the situation for which you're not getting centers production, because obviously coach has gone away from Wenyen Gabriel on his birthday, and you got a situation where Vanderbilt is also not being productive at the 4 spot. So now you got LeBron James come filling in for the 4 spot, rusty and not productive at all defensively. So you're finding layup line for some of the best slashers on the planet Earth in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan walked away with 17 points, 10 assists. Why? Because he kept getting the ball to Zach LaVine, who walked away with 32 points on 11 of 14 shooting. It's like, how the hell you let him get that good? And he didn't even do all this work from behind the arc like he usually does when he shoots up well. No, these was layups and mid-range jumpers and stuff that he was just able to do because he was being guarded by Malik Beasley. I'm sorry, man. DeMar DeRozan was not the focal point scoring option tonight. It was Zach. You had to put Vando on Zach. And so these are the type of things, just looking at Darvin Ham, and he's just leaning, looking at all this, and it's like, what's going on, bro? What's up? Because I'm getting frustrated. You know what I mean? As a fan, I'm sitting here looking at you, and I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing. After 2 days, Rob was really seeing an up, trajectory in regards to what I was seeing in rotation-wise. I know LeBron James comes back, but if we don't start to respect weak side defensive help and kind of let go of some of these hypothetical, I need Beasley on the floor because Bron is on the floor, so therefore he must stretch the floor type of hypothetical nonsense that you will hear somebody talk about when they're talking about the game, that's not real, bro. When you're going up against Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, that is not what you're strategizing. What you need to be strategizing is the length to try to stop them from getting into your paint, because you don't have the centers to make up for that difference, so your wings have to be able to keep up with those guys. We tried to go the offensive route thinking that Malik Beasley was going to shoot 1,000,000 threes and get them out of here. How the hell is that supposed to happen when Zach LaVine's doing the same thing? It's like, come on, bro. You're not strategizing properly. You're looking at what's going on down there and you're saying you got to match bucket for bucket. What you really need to do is get them stops, bro. They only scored 118 points and we didn't even get any stops. We need to be able to understand that if we're going to do that type of thing, you better be ready for the team to score 150 points. If you're going to go offense for offense, if you know you cannot get any stops, we didn't even attempt to get any stops. Letting Derrick Jones Jr. step in at 3-point shots when we're only down by like 6 points in fourth quarter. Like, these are the type of things I'm like, yo, the philosophy for how to guard the perimeter has literally kicked our backs in a lot of the time. We got to play the perimeter more intently. This team shot almost 70% in the first half. Scratch that. Over 70% at one point from behind the arc. And they ended off over 45%, so they kind of weaned off. The stats kind of balanced themselves out in the fourth quarter when we made a run. But the majority of the game, they were shooting so far above percentage average. And it was only because of how we were strategizing defense, or lack thereof. Everything we did was for offense, and we weren't getting any shots up. We only scored like 21 or 22 points in the third quarter or something like that. So the idea that we were supposed to be scoring a lot, we failed to. And didn't attempt to do defense when we should have been. So everything about this was just wrong. The whole strategy was wrong, man. Trying to incorporate LeBron James off the bench. I don't like it, man. I never, ever would ever suggest us bringing LeBron James off of the damn bench. No one's ever done it. It should never be done. It should never be done. Not that it really catered to winning or losing, but that should never be done. I just want to say that. For me, I'm not sure how to incorporate LeBron James back into this roster, but I know the way that we did it, that's not how you do it. You have got to defer to the other ball handlers on this team until he has his rhythm. Because if he's taken away from guys who have their rhythm, he's getting them out of rhythm and he's playing out of rhythm. So guess who's all out of rhythm? Everybody. And that's what you saw. And then you look over Rui Hachimura. You see all these size problems I said we have? I hate playing Rui at the 4. I promise you I do. But if I put him next to LeBron James and Wenyen Gabriel, you know how much size I have now? And then if I put like a Austin Reeves and Max Christie on the floor, you know how much length I have? Or Troy Brown and Austin Reeves? See how much length I got? You didn't try none of that. You didn't try none of that. And you had to go against only one single center. So let me get back on my path here, because there's still something else we have to mention. There's still something very, very wrong about this game that just didn't get mentioned yet. Foul trouble. How many times early in the season, if you guys have been following me religiously, you know this. We've had a lot of conversations about how I did not want us being Cowboys with foul trouble to hurt us down the stretch of these games when we needed to win or playoff situations. I know I've said it at least 4 times throughout the season. Stop toying with Anthony Davis's foul trouble, Darvin Ham. If the man has 4 fouls in the third quarter, he must not be on the floor, brother. He must not be on the floor. I understand we're down a center, and I understand you didn't want to play Wenyen Gabriel on his birthday, but you must not leave Anthony Davis to be a neutralized jogger. Because if he can't play defense because he's in foul trouble, he's not going to affect the floor on the defensive end. So you got him out there in foul trouble. 5 fouls with 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. And you know we didn't have him for the fourth quarter till like the 6-minute mark. The game was out of whack by then. It was over. And you didn't sub Wenyen Gabriel in because you were done with him. So you left Vanderbilt out there to struggle. You left Braun out there to struggle. And you left Malik Beasley out there to make it even more of a struggle. And let me tell you, Troy Brown was Troy George. The boy couldn't miss. Austin Reeves, he couldn't miss. You think we go to the hot hand? You think we look over and say, yo, these guys have 5 for 6, both of them at the half. Maybe we could just kind of focal our offense around trying to get those guys the ball since they're making shots. We took the ball out of their hands so we can get Braun shots. And then the Patrick Beverley thing. Lord have mercy. Braun, my brother, when he hit you with the small, I wasn't sad about that. He got you with a hook shot. There should have been a bigger player on the floor to help you with the weak side. That's not a problem. But you can't respond to that by jacking up a early shot clock 3-point shot. That is a losing play, sir. It's a losing play. That is what you do when you want to give them a quick, easy bucket in your house. When you're up by as much as they were, you throw the ball away by taking a shot like that on some ego stuff. You're not in rhythm. You ain't been on the floor in 2-3 weeks. What makes you think that's a shot you need to be taking? Down the stretch of a basketball game? After he just did that? No, that was you responding to him saying, I'm going to get this shot off. Like a superstar. You know what happened? You got shot down. Because that's not who you were on the floor tonight. You were a guy working his way back from injury, and you got to know who you are, man. We talked about self-awareness. We got to know who we are. Just because we're LeBron James don't mean we got to be LeBron James in a situation like that. No, you just got to be a player getting the ball to a rhythm shooter in that situation. Not running. You got to run a play in that situation. Not running down there jacking up a 3-point shot with 20 seconds in the shot clock. Tossing this possession completely away. You know we talk about clock management? That is a clock management error, sir. That's exactly what it is that we're talking about. If you knew clock management like we talk about knowing clock management, you would have never took that shot. You would have never took that shot because you wouldn't have trusted yourself to make that shot by the percentages, and you would have known you could have got a better shot if you worked the ball around. Much better shot. So this is the type of stuff I'm like, yo, you lost there. That was a Westbrook losing, I want to have fun type of shot right there. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know we ain't going to win, so let me just jack up something that has absolutely zero chance of going in. That's what that was, and I've seen him do it too much, and we talked about it before the game because it's the crap I didn't want to see. 5 turnovers between him, another 5 from Austin Reeves. I don't know what's going on, but I told y'all, we're going to have to understand that Austin Reeves' Achilles heel is in ball handling. And most of these teams know that. They're going to send their best guys at him, and they're going to take the ball from him. And that's just what it is. That's exactly what I would do. And he's going to tighten it up. He has all these great things about his game, but at the end of the day, that is his Achilles heel. And we got to respect it. And he has to respect it. So these are the type of things I'm like, yo, I knew that was coming. As soon as people start screaming like he's a superstar, I'm like, okay, they're going to do what I would do. Try to just get him the way you know how to get him. And so he knows what he has to do. But the guys around him and the rotations around him have to help him. If they come and get him with 5 forced turnovers or whatever, then we need to make sure that everybody around him is in a position to not be a defensive liability or offensive liability or a rebounding liability or all three, Malik Beasley. I mean, these type of things is like when you put a combination of defensive liability players on the floor and one of them is trying to work his way back from injury. And then the other guy's trying to make up for the other people's mistakes, but he has a different role because now he has to make up for other different things. With the continuity being out of whack, since a lot of these guys have never been on the floor together, it's just not what you need when you must win the game. Dennis Schroeder started the game really, really inefficient. That was a big problem for me. He was like 2 of 10 to start the game. And them brick shots, I need those back, especially when everybody else ain't been playing. You got to be of sturdy playing style. Like, you got to be sturdy out there, man, when everybody else is kind of rickety, so to speak. He ended up getting decent numbers in the end. Like I said, fourth quarter kind of got us back into a space where a lot of the stats just kind of balanced out on both sides. But this game, we got outclassed by a Chicago team that was just super athletic. And it was only because our rotations were god-awful, man. Just awful. That's just horrible, really. And play Rui Hachimura a single minute, 8 minutes to Wenyen Gabriel, and we got size problems with a team that genuinely likes to run small ball sometimes, which really pisses me off. But we didn't see none of that tonight, despite one of their players just throwing himself out the game. I mean, he hit LeBron James in the head and then proceeded to scream. Vucevic did at the refs, and they threw him out. So he removed his all-star, talent level from the game, and we still couldn't do anything for ourselves tonight. Anthony Davis playing through foul trouble through the majority of fourth quarter when we got to try to push to get back in the damn game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, Lakers. So you lose this one. You got to see KD coming up. You got to see Carl coming up. And you're going to drop one of the Bulls at home. And look, for me, it's like, I know there were rotations out there that I could have tried that would have given me a better chance to just guard those guys. And those rotations would have also given me enough scoring to keep up with them. If you go with Max Christie a little more in a game like this, you get the length you need to go up against Ayo Dosunmu and Derrick Jones Jr. and some of these guys. You got the length. You help yourself. You leave Malik Beasley on the floor, it's 4-on-5. It's 4-on-5. On both sides of the floor. As soon as Zach LaVine sees that guy, he's going straight past him, bro. You put Malik Beasley in front of Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is a guy who's like a cheetah, yo. He's like a cheetah. He darts left and right, up and down. He ran around the man like he was a cone, man. As soon as he saw him, he tackled him, gone. Whether he was giving him space, not playing him close, it didn't matter. If that man's on him, his athleticism takes over, bro. It's not hard. It's not hard for Zach LaVine to score on Malik Beasley, y'all. It's not hard. I'm just being honest with you. That's not difficult at all. They're looking for those type of mismatches all up and down their schedule. Like, Malik Beasley, that's a good night. Because ain't no other team going to defend him like that. You got to understand that. Nobody's stupid enough to defend him like that but us. He going to get the best defensive players every night because they know he's a microwave. He's not even a microwave. That dude's like a laser. And we just treated him like he was just a guy because we wanted to hypothetically maybe shoot threes even though they literally weren't falling. But you don't want me to call you stupid, man. You don't want me to challenge the intelligence. I'm supposed to sit here and just say, this is fine. There's nothing wrong. I don't see a problem. I can't think of nothing better. This is just what it is. But I can, though. And so can, like, a million other fans. Like, we literally can. This is ridiculous, Darvin. This is not rookie problem stuff. This is just not doing what you need to do to give yourself the best opportunity to win a basketball game. You would have got out strategized by a 5-year-old holding the controller today, bro. Because he would have known better than to not play no size against a team who was undersized with their center getting thrown out the game halfway through it. The only objective in that game in the third quarter should have been to attack Drummond. I would have did everything I could to drive at Drummond every play. There was no other strategy necessary. Don't you see that? You remove him from the game, immediately they go small. Up, but then again, we don't respect size. So would we even see that as an advantage, Darvin? Do we even see that as an advantage? Getting Drummond plus 20 off the floor when he's killing everybody offensively, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds? And he the only center they got? It doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, Malik Beasley's going to save us by hitting a million threes and stopping Zach LaVine. Same coverage. I mean, at some point, you just realize DeMar DeRozan is not looking to really score like that. He wasn't. He was making passes all night. And we just got Vanderbilt just pressing him, just pressing the hell out of him. Like, he's not even. He's identifying what we're doing, and he's taking what the defense is giving him. The defense needs to adjust and stop giving him the same stuff. Playing into his hands. All over the floor. Like, you're giving some of the best offensive guys in the Eastern Conference defensive holes to attack, Darvin. They need someone to stop them from scoring, not a obstacle course that's set up for them to score. It's the same thing I said about Luka Doncic on Christmas Day. Like, you set the defense up for them to be showcased, fam. Is it on purpose? Do we see it that way? Maybe my basketball IQ is trash. Maybe that's not what happened. Maybe you guys could tell me you saw something different other than us just completely throw this game. Because everything about continuity was betrayed in this game. Everything about size was betrayed in this game. Everything about perimeter defense was betrayed in this game. All we were doing was trying to hypothetically get certain things done because Bron James is on the floor. Hypothetically, we need this. So therefore, he must be down there and he must play the 4. And it's just a bunch of stuff that did not cater to you guarding Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and all those other guys that were scoring with us. Kobe White, Derrick Jones, Drummond, front office. Because that's your job. Ain't nobody guarding Drummond on this team. You knew who he was. You had him. We had him for half a season. You know exactly who he is. You didn't have anyone who could guard him. Anthony Davis is not, I repeat, Anthony Davis is not an answer for a player like that. He's not an answer. That's too much size, bro. Anthony is a natural power forward. So is Vando. And I know people ain't going to like this, but I think Bron is a natural 3. And I've been saying that since he came into the league. So all of this is just like, look, if people want to act like shot blocking is not something that is required for them to win, then they will have another season where that will be the reason why they don't. That's it. Shot blocking, people. That's really what it comes down to. Why? Because you need weak side help for everything that goes on down there. Because people are looking for the small guy to lay the ball up over. Tonight, it was Malik Beasley. Earlier in the season, it was a player that's on the Bulls right now, Patrick Beverley, who was able to get laughing emojis off, I'm sure, after the game as he tweets or something like that. I know he's going to have a lot of fun with this one. And did it to yourself, Lakers. I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, we are the playoffs after this loss, after winning 3 games. This is a hiccup. I'm pretty sure we can bounce back. But at the end of the day, you got to see this team again in their home situation. And I don't see no answer for some of the problems we had tonight showing up anytime soon. And what I do see, after seeing 7 straight highlights of their last 7 games, is this team doing that every night. Truth be told, they score like that every night. So it's not going to stop. And look, the sad thing for us is that we got a back-to-back with them. But they got another game to play. They got to play the Clippers tomorrow. So they're going to be probably in better rhythm than us when we see them again. So it's like, oh, man. This is the worst time for the Lakers to try to incorporate new stuff into the situation. And that's just what it is. You don't want to have to incorporate LeBron James into your situation when you don't necessarily know how to do so rotation wise. And look, this is a problem. This has been a running problem all year, man. LeBron James, his defense at the 4 spot, it's not good enough. I'm sorry. It's just not. Not for some of the defensive holes that we leave ourselves on the other aspects of the roster. If he's going to be at the 4, you at damn sure better have somebody at the 5 playing D, and you better damn sure have somebody at the 3 playing D, or else it goes bad. And that's what I've come to understand. He can play well within certain parameters, which is why his plus minus was in the plus. But everybody who was playing around him was playing bad, man. We just got to find ways of incorporating him into this situation without having rotations that give up defensive circumstances. And as long as we're having him at the 4 and AD at the 5 going up against real centers, it's always going to be something that we're going to have to overcome, man. Once you start running to the Jaren Jacksons and those guys, you're going to have issues just like you had tonight. It just doesn't really work anymore, man. I don't know what to tell people. It doesn't work defensively. And it hasn't worked really all season. And I've been watching for it. It just don't work, man. I'm telling you, if we really want to do something, you're moving Bron to the 3, and you're starting Wenyen Gabriel and Anthony Davis, and that's how you're going to move. That's how you're going to move. And you're probably going to put the ball in his hands, and then the other 2 players are going to probably be 2s. That's exactly how you do it. You put Austin Reeves down there and D'Angelo Russell. And you put the ball in Bron's hands. And that's how you do it. And you play him at the 3. Because that's how you give yourself the size, the defense necessary to complement him so that he's not asked to do those big dog things. Because if we're asking him to do big dog things next to Anthony Davis, they're going to be getting ate up, man. We out of here. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. Facts over feelings. Watch the tape all season long. It don't work. We can get stops here and there, but that's not a viable front court. Not in today's league. Eventually, you're going to get outclassed by some front courts, and that's just facts over feelings, man. Especially if Bron's not 100%. So we better study that. And if we don't, we're going to see it. It's going to cost us. We already got a taste of that tonight, man. So it's not an adjustment for Bron. It's not like he can just do something different. No, this is just where we're at. It's where we're at. He's older now. He's coming off injury. This is where we're at. So that's something I wanted to say. Austin Reeves needed more looks tonight. Anthony Davis, obviously, with the foul trouble, 6 out of 8, he was efficient, so we needed more looks from him, but you can't play him when he's getting fouls all over the place. How much of that do I hold him accountable for the fouls he picked up? I mean, I guess that's what I always ask myself when I see this type of conversation being had after making it happen on this channel. When I listen to it, I usually say, well, Anthony the one pick up the fouls. You could blame coach for giving him foul trouble, but Anthony's the one got to stay out of foul trouble, and I just think that that's what it is to say. You playing against your home team, bro. How you get out of the game and didn't even get a fourth quarter minute out of it. You know, or rather didn't get subbed into the 6-minute mark because you got 5 fouls. At some point in time, you got to hold yourself accountable for not picking up fouls and missing free throws. How many damn free throws Anthony Davis missed tonight? 4? 3? He's averaging missing 4 or 3 every night. I know he cut his finger today, so we're going to have to pay attention to that. His hand is messing with him, so I don't want that to be lost. Maybe buying him some rest in the end of that game might be a blessing in disguise somehow, but given the fact that we don't play again until Wednesday, I'm not really buying that. So, yeah, man, this Lakers team really disappointed me tonight. I don't want to get too far down because they're coming off of 3 straight wins that were really solid. But the rotations, now you're incorporating Bron back. We're a different team, and that team, man, is good. They're just not as good. You got to get some rotation, make some sense out there, coach. And the best thing for you to do, the very best thing for you to do is get Malik Beasley out of that lineup. You need to sub him in at that 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter when we were down by 13. That's when you need Malik Beasley to shoot some threes. It's the right time to have him down there. But all that other stuff leading up to that was so very problematic for you. Both sides of the floor, coach. Both sides, my man. And to just see it for the 75th time we run some stuff like that, disrespecting the size situation down there. I am so tired of that. So tired of that. Seeing us disrespect the defensive end, having cones in front of Zach LaVine. I am so very exhausted from you, Darvin. You don't respect these things, bro, and it costs the Lakers wins, bro. We can't afford to lose, bro. urgency is overwhelming, and I don't know where's D'Lo. Where's D'Lo, yo? What is up with that hip? Did you get kicked in it? What happened? How's the bruise keeping you out of these games, brother? Even LeBron James back. D'Lo, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, this does not make people want to keep you around, bro. We need you to play the games we need to win. This don't make us feel good about giving you no whatever millions. Nah, this don't make us feel that good. You gotta know that, brother. Especially when we look over at Austin Reeves and he outplaying you. Nah, family. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. Maybe I'm not understanding what's going on. But I can't keep seeing him sitting in these games, and I know we need him. I know we need him. We lost because he wasn't down there to outclass some of the stuff that was going on down there. We needed his 20, 30 points. So if it's a situation like this, if he's not able to play through injury because of his medicals, if he's that fragile to where in situations like this he cannot go, that's a problem, yo. That's a problem. It needs to be thought about. Because especially if we're going to give him a good portion of our cap and call him the answer to this Anthony Davis, LeBron James core. Another injury-prone player you want to throw in that core? Let's assess this. Let's further assess this, honestly. So these are things I'm looking at, Lakers. I'm like, man, this is a fluid situation. I'm not sold on nothing right now. Vanderbilt's playing like garbage. I'm not sold on anything right now. We're looking bad. And I know, like I said, when you bring a player back into the equation, even if they're a great player, it can throw your rotation off, especially if you don't rotate properly. You know, especially if you betray certain things that really help you just because you want to do certain things that are like modern day rules. Beasley's a spacing. He must be on the floor with Ron. Spacing. Like modern day rules that literally are not at all anything ever most of the time. Like literally. Following hypotheticals, bro. That's not even what you're looking at. That's not what you see. I know Max Christie was meant for this particular matchup. That's the part that bothers me. His length, his skill set is what was required matchup-wise for what we were dealing with tonight. He wasn't just a young player we should have played. He was the best matchup for what we were looking at. No minutes. 0 minutes. Once again, I look at a guy like Devon Reed. Could he have gotten some stops on Zach LaVine tonight? If we would have threw him on Zach LaVine during certain portions of the game, could we have had an extra lift of excitement maybe if he could have got a stop or two? I don't know if we don't just give him 8 minutes to find out. Since Vanderbilt's literally a negative 24. Oh, man. And to just watch him continue to watch players shoot. And then Kobe White step into another three. Blow. Zach LaVine step into another shot. Bow. It's like, God dang, coach. Patrick Williams dunked the ball. Boom. Like, oh, my Lord. Just watch LeBron James sitting there watching. Zach LaVine drive past another one. Lay the ball up. Drive past this guy. Dart through 2 of them. Lay the ball up. Cone. Layup. Cone. Spin move. Cone. Dunk. I swear to God. That's exactly what I just got to watch. In a game where my team cannot afford to lose, man. We just not giving me that intellect, that competitive smarts, man. This is one of the games where I can honestly say we weren't that bright, y'all. However y'all can receive that without your feelings being hurt, please receive it. As a collective unit, from player to player to player, we just weren't all that bright tonight, man. Alex Caruso had 2 charges that he was able to draw on. You know who he drew them on? Bron and AD. Fellas, I don't even feel like it's responsible for me to have to break this down and try to insult your intelligence by saying these words. You want a championship with this guy. You watched him develop into what it is that he did. You practically probably taught him how to do it. And both of y'all gonna make that mistake in the same game we can't afford to lose? What we talking about? There's a whole collective, you know, taking the ball out of Austin Reeves' hands in situations. because we got to hurry up and shoot an early 3-point shot in the shot clock. This is all kinds of bad strategy tonight, man. Very, very bad. So that's what I got, man. I don't know how to think of my team other than this is a team that's just has some flaws, and because of it, they're going to fall, man. It ain't deeper than that. You can't do what we did throughout this season and strategizing this way and expect to be just sharp as heck in the end. We got tendencies that we must overcome. Philosophy tendencies that play against us repeatedly, religiously even. Small ball religiously caters to the Los Angeles Lakers failure from year to year. It must be abandoned, friends. It must. Unless we are desiring for the intended result that comes with losing, unless we really genuinely would like to fail, we must get away from the idea that size is not something that needs to be prioritized. Both sides of the floor, guys. Both sides. I can't see a game where Wenyen Gabriel got 8 minutes and we getting out rebounded. It's like, come on, guys. Must win means just that. The urgency has not waned. So for us to have a game where we weren't serious, where we kind of fumbled and bumbled all over the place, kind of leaned on stuff that we knew wasn't going to work, but kind of has to happen because of politics. That's what happened tonight. Some more politic ball. And that's going to lose you a basketball game in these circumstances when the other team is trying to fight for their playoff life and they got a nice little rhythm about them because they've been beating the heck out of everybody. Did you see what they did to Portland? They did the same thing to us. It ain't new. They're going to do the same thing to Clippers tomorrow too. I'm pretty sure. So I'm like, man, look, Chicago is turning into somebody else right before our very eyes. I told y'all last week, this is the worst time to see this team, and it's playing out exactly the way I thought it would. I told y'all, this is the worst time to see them because they're getting guys back healthy. They got Patrick Beverley now, who's leading the fold, giving them something to think about, holding people accountable. That's really all the team needs when they got that type of offensive talent, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and AC. They don't really need a whole lot. All Patrick Beverley is doing is filling in the Lonzo Ball role, as to which the Lonzo Ball role is strictly about defense in that case. Because they can find other people to do the passing and stuff that they have needs for. But the defensive piece was needed, and they got it. So, and then you got to look at Derrick Jones and guys like that. I mean, they're getting stops. They put Derrick Jones on Austin Reeves, and that was it. I mean, the length was too much. So, I'm running out of time. I would love to keep talking, but I got to create some more space on this phone. And honestly, you guys, the Lakers just did not bring it home. They did not bring it home. We know our team can play better than this. And under these circumstances, they just did not do nothing to help themselves against a loose playing, desperate Chicago team. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Game ball goes to Zach LaVine with 32 points. And we just didn't play smart, man. I'd love to make it more colorful than that, but it ain't deeper than that. EDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.